Right now at 5, an update on the search for 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard. Good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Cooney here live in Dayton, right in front of the Southeast Webster Grant Elementary School. That is where Kathleen Shepard was last seen about 24 hours ago. Now, a news conference wrapped up just about a half an hour ago. Here is the latest on what we know. Authorities are focused on these three areas, right here where we are at Southeast Webster Grand Elementary. As we said, where Kathleen and another 12-year-old girl were abducted near a bus stop, a hog confinement in rural Pilot Mound where the 12-year-old girl escaped, and an area in rural Dayton where the body of the suspected kidnapper, Michael Klunder, was found. Authorities have just confirmed that he died by suicide, but they are still holding out hope that Kathleen will be found alive.
We are very optimistic still. Our plan is that we're gonna find her alive. That's our hope, and we're working very hard now to find her.
Now, a few details have been released about the 12-year-old girl who, as we said, managed to escape shortly after the abduction took place. We will hear from the farmer who found her yesterday. That'll be in just a moment. But first, Laura Nichols has been out with search teams throughout the day, and she joins us now just a few miles from here where a lot of those searches were taking place. Laura?
We're just about 3 miles northeast from Dayton. That's just in the rural part of town. Now, I'm actually standing in front of the place where authorities say the suspect, Michael Klunder, was found dead. They just confirmed at a news conference about 30 minutes ago, as you heard, that he did die by suicide. We found out that he was found here in this facility right behind me here. Now, authorities have focused on this area all day searching because Klunder was found right here. They've searched these rural fields all day. Right now, the search parties are actually taking a break, but we'll show you some video from earlier where hundreds of people were out searching. We joined some of the crews. Some of the search parties looked through fields. They looked through tall grass. There was airplanes searching from the sky. Several hundred people came out, many of them volunteering their time, taking off work. Several authorities and law enforcement officers from neighboring counties and cities also participated. We learned about 120 of them. Many people contributed to this search. This has rocked this entire community. Everyone is hoping that 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard is found alive. We talked to one mom today who knows the family. She said she took off work because she knew she had to be part of this search.
I have kids. If it was my kid or anybody else's kid, maybe because I have kids, I sympathize more, but I'd want everybody out looking for them.
Now, authorities are saying they don't need any more searchers at this point tonight. They sent everyone home for the day, including the Red Cross and Salvation Army. They said if they need more tomorrow, they will contact the local media to have us put the word out that more searchers are needed. We'll keep you updated on that.
All right, Laura Nichols reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Laura. Now, we mentioned earlier in this newscast that a little earlier this morning we spoke with a farmer, just going by the name of Patrick, who found the 12-year-old girl who was able to escape just about 24 hours ago. He described what happened.
We heard a noise off this way that sounded like a wounded animal. And we started walking this way, and here come this girl, scratches all over her legs, crying a lot. And we finally got a little bit out of her that she had somehow escaped from somebody or something.
Now, Patrick says the girl ran to his farm from a hog confinement operation about a half mile away. She was barefoot and scratched up at the time, but otherwise, Patrick said she appeared to be okay. He says he still has hope that Kathleen will be found alive.
There is, in my opinion, is a chance she's still alive, turned her ankle, and could be stuck in a ravine trying to crawl out of it. And I'm sure she probably heard all the noise, the ATVs and cars and searchlights, but if she has a turned ankle, there's nothing she can do about it, except we got to go out and find her.
And there are a lot of people in the community here who are holding out hope as well. Vanessa Peng's been talking with them, and tell us what you found out.
Kevin, this is just devastating news for a community where everyone knows everyone. And here's what some people told me earlier today.
something that shouldn't happen.
In small-town Iowa,
It never happens in your hometown. It's always in the bigger cities.
people in Dayton, a city of just over 830, are shocked. 2 young girls were abducted right behind an elementary school in broad daylight.
You think you're so safe in a small town, and it's not true anymore.
Authorities say a 12-year-old and 15-year-old girl accepted a ride from 42-year-old Michael Klunder during a walk home. And a day later, they are still looking for Kathleen Shepard, a sophomore at Southeast Webster Grand Middle School.
She is a very sweet girl and just always has a smile on her face.
Southeast Webster Grand Superintendent Lonnie Dane says the school is reviewing safety procedures for students who walk home from school.
I believe that's something we will need to have to readdress with our parents. And I was thinking about that, trying to put together maybe some guidelines from the Iowa Department of Transportation.
Some residents are looking to a higher power to help cope with the heartbreaking incident.
Normally we wouldn't do that on a weekday, but considering the situation of the community, and it's a small community that is very close, we decided we wanted to encourage everyone to come to church and offer prayers for each other.
And whether they knew Kathleen personally, in a town where everyone knows everyone, the community is pulling together for a family in their time of need.
We're all going to be hoping and praying that it becomes a good outturn and that they find her safe.
What we're doing is waiting for an answer.
Now, earlier today at that news conference we had talked about, you could see members from the community, you could see the pain in their faces as they continue to search for Kathleen. And Kevin, we just wish this community the best of luck.
They have come together, and unfortunately it has to be for something like this. Yeah. Thank you very much, Vanessa. Now, the Webster County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with any information about the girls or information about Michael Klunder to get in hold of them. Now, they're specifically interested in the hours between 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon and 8 o'clock yesterday evening. You can give them a call. The tip line number is 515-573-1410. As you heard Laura said, right now they're not looking for more volunteers, or they don't need more people up here right now, but if there is a situation where they do need more, they'd like to have a list. And if you would like to be on that list, you're asked to first call this number. Don't show up, but just call this number, the Webster County Emergency Management number, at 515-571-6483. Leave a message with whatever available resources you might have and your contact information. Of course, we're going to continue to follow developments throughout the evening here in Dayton, but for right now, let's get back to Stacy Horst, who has a little bit more information in the studios about the suspected kidnapper in this case. Stacy?
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much. We have been digging into Michael Klunder's background tonight. We're finding out he had a very violent past. Patrick Bell joins me now with this side of the story.
Yeah,
Patrick.
very violent past indeed, Stacy. In fact, according to these state records obtained by KCCI, Michael Klunder spent nearly 2 decades in prison for 2 separate kidnapping and assault convictions. Now, this is video from 1992 when Klunder was found guilty of abducting a Cerro Gordo County woman at knife point. He was also convicted a short time later of kidnapping 2 Charles City toddlers. Those little girls were found a short time later after that crime, safe and sound, in a trash bin near Northwood, about 50 miles away. Now, Klunder was eventually given a 41-year prison sentence, but served less than half of it. He was released in February of 2011. Why? Well, because according to the Iowa Department of Corrections, the convictions by law carry no mandatory sentence.
The sentences are reduced by what we call earn time. So when someone walks in our door, if they don't have a mandatory sentence, which in this case did not, for every day they serve, 1.2 days comes off the back end, and eventually they meet, and that becomes the discharge date.
So if this sounds confusing to you, it is, but that's the law. If someone's convicted of a crime, Stacy, and those charges don't come with a mandatory sentence, like, for instance, a first-degree murder conviction, then they're going to get out someday. That's just the way things are. A judge can't impose a mandatory sentence on someone just because.
Okay, Patrick, thank you. Well, this case has a lot of people wondering if there's any possible connection to the Evansdale cousins. It has been 5.5 months since the bodies of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins were found in a Bremer County park. No one has been arrested for their deaths. The Black Hawk County Sheriff's Office says it is looking into the possibility of a connection with this case, but they say it's just too early to tell. Now, wrapping up our top story this afternoon, the search continues for 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard. A 12-year-old girl who was also kidnapped with her is safe. Their suspected captor dead by suicide. Search teams are combing areas in Webster, Boone, and Hamilton counties. And we will, of course, check back in with Kevin Cooney live in Dayton a little later in this newscast. There's new information in another missing persons case. The body of 46-year-old Kenneth Hackman was found yesterday in a creek near Camrar, southeast of Webster City. Friends and family had been searching for him after he was last seen Thursday in Ames. We are waiting autopsy results to determine his cause of death. And now to the latest on the Oklahoma tornado. It has now been classified as a top-of-the-scale EF5. The death toll revised today down to 24, but authorities still aren't sure how many people are missing. Adriana Diaz reports from Moore, Oklahoma.
Rescuers will keep searching the ruins of buildings and homes until every person is accounted for in the tornado-ravaged town of Moore, Oklahoma. Ashley Bursch was inside Briarwood Elementary School when a wall collapsed on her and her 6th grade classmates.
Everybody started crying and I started crying because I didn't know if I was going to make it or not.
Plaza Towers Elementary School took a direct hit. At least 7 children were killed there.
There will be enormous grief that has to be absorbed, but you will not travel that path alone.
An emergency official says hundreds of Oklahoma schools have reinforced tornado shelters, but the 2 that were hit yesterday did not. People whose homes are now piles of rubble spent the day trying to salvage whatever belongings they could. They carted away property in suitcases. One man used a hole in his collapsed roof to carry boxes of items out of his home. Muddied and mangled cars litter a neighborhood where homes once stood. This stairway used to lead into a house here on Southwest 6th Street. It looks like the kitchen was just over there. And this house was just one of about 20 homes that was completely wiped out on this block alone. The tornado was packing 200-mile-per-hour winds when it carved a path of destruction nearly 2 miles wide and 20 miles long. The marquee of a damaged IMAX movie theater no longer lists film titles. It only says, "Please pray." Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Moore, Oklahoma.
And KCCI is teaming up with the Red Cross to help those hit by the Oklahoma tornado. You can call right in right now. Call your credit card donations in 515-247-8880. Our operators be on hand to take your calls until 7 o'clock tonight. And coming up, we will show you other ways that you can help. And now to Chief Meteorologist John McLaughlin. Any more chances for severe weather for us tonight?
Definitely quiet here in Iowa tonight. Still some strong storms in the southern U.S. as well as the East Coast. But for now, well, kind of a comfortable day out there. Temperatures in the upper 60s. Winds have been gusty out of the west all afternoon, so some breezy conditions out there. As we head on through the evening hours, temperatures will be dropping into the mid-60s, down into the low to mid-50s by early morning. Overnight clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two. Chance for some light sprinkles toward mid-morning tomorrow. It will be a cool day. Highs tomorrow in the mid-60s.
Thank you, John. The tragedy in Oklahoma is a stark reminder of the importance of having a tornado safety plan. Coming up next, what local schools are doing to make sure all their students are safe during severe weather. A look at the devastating aftermath of an elementary school in Moore, Oklahoma that took a direct hit. At least 7 students are among those killed by the tornado. And that tragedy has many local schools re-examining their tornado safety plans. KCCI's Marcus McIntosh reports.
Our first stop is in Ankeny at Centennial High School, a school that won't be open for students until this fall.
We worked with our insurance company to identify the safest places in the schools for the students to go in the event of a tornado, and those would be places like these interior hallways.
At Valley High School in West Des Moines, a FEMA grant of more than $2 million went to build this tornado-safe area for the school's 2,000-plus students.
This entire hallway, once the students get down here, is all part of the FEMA tornado shelter. You'll see the signs here, tornado safe room. Then we funnel the kids into this room.
Along with the wrestling room, the weight room can also be used to keep people out of the wrath of a storm. Rose says it gives him peace of mind knowing the students will be safe. At 112-year-old Greenwood Elementary School in Des Moines, preparation is key. During severe weather drills, the students are ushered to the lowest level of the school.
We're prepared for it. They know what to do. They understand where to go.
So it's just practice. Practice makes perfect, and we continue to do that.
Hinker says he is confident his students are safe here, given the craftsmanship put into this building when it was built more than a century ago.
The traditional buildings, I think, have a little bit more of that protection, just because you do have that solid foundation and the rock and the brick and everything that they've built with them.
Everyone we spoke with is confident should weather wreak havoc here, they're prepared to weather any storm. Marcus McIntosh, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Now, Marcus says the people he spoke with for this story tell us the tragedy in Moore, Oklahoma had them take a closer look at their severe weather procedures to ensure they have everything in place to keep the students safe. And now we check in with Chief Meteorologist John McLaughlin, and it's a much more pleasant night for us ahead.
Yeah, quiet weather here, and quiet weather is a good time to plan what you will do the next time it gets a little active like it was here over the weekend. Back with the forecast next.
From Iowa's weather leader, this is your KCCI Storm Team 8 forecast.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's nice to be on the air, not having to talk about severe weather here in Iowa or anywhere else right now. 69 degrees currently. Bit of a breeze today. West-southwest winds 15. It's been gusty, and the pressure all the way down 2965. You watch the clouds really moving quickly today as some cooler air filtered into the region, just enough moisture. Those cloud bases looked a little dark, but no precipitation. Right now, the winds remain out of the west to southwest here in central Iowa, generally between 10 and 20 miles an hour, and that wind will gradually back down a little bit tomorrow and then turn to the northwest. That'll keep things cool again. Right now, low 60s to the north, mid to upper 60s central, low 70s hanging on across the southwest counties. A couple of cooler days coming in. Lots of low-level cloudiness over Iowa tonight. There are some very light showers and sprinkles up to the north. A few of those could cruise into the state through the overnight hours in the afternoon tomorrow. It would be very light rainfall, certainly nothing significant as far as accumulations. Low pressure moving away, the wind wrapping around to the northwest tomorrow. That's going to keep us cool tomorrow and on into Thursday, and then gradually bumping up a little bit as we head through the weekend. Tonight, 52 degrees, cloudy skies, chance for those sprinkles again late during the overnight hours. As we head through the day tomorrow, cooler than today, mid to upper 60s. Again, a few sprinkles or even a light rain shower, and the winds become more northwesterly at 10 to 15. Now, heading into the end of the week, sunshine returns for Thursday and Friday, and the temperatures gradually creep back up as well. Heading into the weekend, another area of low pressure will be spinning nearby. That will mean chances for showers and thunderstorms Saturday, Sunday, and potentially lingering into Monday and Tuesday again. With the clouds, the rain, 60s to low 70s. Early next week, we start to get back into a little stronger wind out of the south, and that's going to push temperatures back into the mid-70s to near 80 by the middle of the week.
Tonight on KCCI 8 News at 6, the search for 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard is driving home an important reminder for parents about strangers.
I'm Cynthia Fodor. After this latest abduction, how do you keep your children safe without scaring them? The conversation you need to have tonight after dinner.
500 miles from the devastation, Iowans want to help, and they are mobilizing. How you can help too tonight.
Those stories coming up at 6, but still ahead today at 5, how you can help the victims of the Oklahoma tornado. KCCI is teaming up with the Red Cross. Next. The images from Moore, Oklahoma are heartbreaking. Neighborhoods flattened, businesses destroyed, and many people have lost everything. But you can help. KCCI is teaming up with the Red Cross to help the victims of the Oklahoma tornado. And joining me now is Leslie Schaefer from the Red Cross of Central Iowa. Leslie, thanks so much for coming in today
Thank you so much.
Doing this. So we see these pictures and we want to know how we can help. So what can we do?
Certainly financial donation is one of the most efficient ways to help. And right now we have folks here just waiting to take down your information.
Of course, a lot of people want to go through their closets, donate clothes and food and things like that. Why is that maybe not as effective?
Well, it really isn't as effective because you can tell from the pictures that the infrastructure is just damaged. And there really is no way to accept those donations and really get them in there, get them sorted, and get them in any kind of semblance of order for people to make any kind of use of them. So we really ask people to not do that, to hold off on those kind of efforts.
And we have our phone bank here is open until 7 o'clock tonight. The number to call 515-2 247-8880. But if folks can't get the phone call made tonight, how else can they donate?
Well, certainly online at redcross.org, but also Casey's has joined us, and so you can go into any Casey's location and make a donation.
And how long will you be needing help and things like that?
Well, I expect, of course, the Red Cross is there all the time. We've had Red Cross chapters in Oklahoma for many, many years, just like here in Iowa. So the Red Cross will always be there, but the relief operation will probably be ongoing for months.
Okay. Leslie Schaefer with the Red Cross, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Again, call the phone bank. We're here until 7 o'clock, 247-8880. Now we want to check back in with Kevin Cooney live in Dayton with the latest on the search for 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard.
All right, Stacy. Well, law enforcement does continue the search efforts for Kathleen Shepard. She was last seen right here in this area outside this school about 4:30 yesterday. She was abducted along with a 12-year-old girl. That little girl was able to escape. The suspected kidnapper, however, was found dead in a rural Dayton area about 8 o'clock last night. Authorities say he committed suicide. Law enforcement say they are searching in a lot of areas.
We have a rather large area based on things that we are aware of where he was during certain times yesterday afternoon and last night. It's a large area, and we have searched a lot of areas already last night and today. We are searching areas right now. Anything is a possibility. We get leads, we explore those leads, and right now we're still searching many areas.
And once again, authorities are asking if anyone saw anything, either regarding the suspect or regarding the individuals who are missing, to give Webster County authorities a call, especially they're interested in between the hours of 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock yesterday in the afternoon and evening. Stacy?
All right, Kevin, we'll be right back. Thank you.
Today's Market Report is sponsored by Wells Fargo Advisors.
We have a change of pace in our weather over the last couple of nights.
Slowing down, cooling down, cloudy skies tonight. A few sprinkles tonight through the day tomorrow. Upper 60s for highs as we move into late week. Temperatures climb back to the low 70s. Weekend a bit unsettled. There'll be chances for showers, storms, and highs right around 70 to 74 degrees.
Thank you, John. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, the tornado aftermath. Stories of loss and survival after a twister nearly levels an entire city. Scott Pelley is live on the scene in Moore, Oklahoma next. And coming up in 30 minutes, we will return live to Dayton for the latest on the search for 15-year-old Kathleen Shepard. And a reminder, our Red Cross phone bank is open until 7 o'clock tonight. Call in your credit card donations to help the victims of the Oklahoma tornado. The number to call, 515-247-8880. And we will be back at 6.